episode 212. This is why you're poor.
You're listening to the very best podcast in the world on health, wealth, and happiness. Please remember to leave a review and share with all your friends and family. And here is your host, Lars Hilser.
Hello Tuesday. Hello loyal subscribers and newcomers to the very best podcast in the world. Your only source in the universe for personal supremacy through health, wealth, and happiness. Sorry, I had to swallow that. Today's episode is much less provocative than you may have thought. Sorry, you have fallen for clickbait. In fact, it's about how do you want to call it? One of these bullshit motivational gurus, trying to get you off your butt to do your best and yada, 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 yada. And I thought it would be worth talking about. So that's what this episode is in essence going to be. It's going to be about, are you poor? And, or are you not? Should you become rich? Or should you aspire to become rich? Or are there other things which are more important, hidden behind the curtain, spoken by the man you're not supposed to, blah. But before we get into that, let's do housekeeping. Number one, views my own, blah, yada, yada, yada. Number two is actually about sharing is caring. And I want to, again, as every day, encourage you to share not only this, but all of the other previous 211 episodes plus one bonus episode, emergency bonus episode with everyone. All right, how are we going to do that? And why? Right? How is quite easy. Open your podcast app, find the episode interesting for, Uncle Bob, Aunt Jeannie, or whomever. Click the share button, send it to them. While you're in the sharing menu, send out a tweet. It's automatic. It doesn't cost you anything, but it spreads the word, makes the life of a lot of people significantly better. At least that's the feedback that I'm getting via email. So that being said, sharing is caring, views my own. Let's get started. So I came across this quite provocative picture, meme, whatever you call it, these motivational meme things. And there was a dude pictured there. I don't know if he was the actual author of the quote. Are quotes authored? Or the person who supposedly said it. I forget the name. It was that important. However, it struck me because it was provocative in a way. And it said, as always, money in the foreground of anything. Now, this podcast is about health, wealth, and happiness. And the thing is that money, despite the fact that it may sound cheesy and corny, can't buy happiness. And it can take the edge off, but it can't buy you true happiness. That's the thing, because the more money you have, the more influence you have, the more people you have, like flies, scooting around the shit pile. Because everybody wants something from you or of you, and the phone rings all day, and it's just people wanting something from you at the end of the day. And anyhow, the subtitle of this picture was something along the line of, do you work 100 hours a week? Are you willing to forfeit vacation for 3 years in a row? And would you work on your anniversary? And would you celebrate Christmas in January because you were closing the business year in December? And, all that kind of ordeal. And I'm so tired of it, right? Because this is me personally, right? I can't speak, obviously, for anyone else out there. But for me, came the realization that money isn't everything. And I've said, been over this story repeatedly and, said, look, money is not everything. As long as you've got, your roof over your head, you are able to put food on the table for you and your loved ones, and you're pretty healthy. As a 42-year-old, you're starting to feel the pain of age. So, seriously though, a lot of us are complaining a lot about crap that we don't have influence over. And it's totally not worth, even getting your pulse up, right? Because all of this madness going on outside of our farm here, I don't care because it doesn't affect me. Yeah, I'll run around with a mask. No, I will not get an actual vaccination if that is required, to go into a store. Then I will order my food and, my fruit and veggies and everything from and my beef from the neighboring farm and so on and so forth. We're good, right? The thing is, that madness doesn't really touch me. And so therefore, I've totally tuned out of the news cycle, right? Totally. Because it was all bonkers and bananas going on, raising hell, spreading fear, and that kind of a deal. Wasn't really interested in that. So therefore, there's an interesting, aspect to that, which, you turn on. I forgot where I went with this. Anyhow, so you got the roof over your head, you're pretty healthy, you're able to put food on the table, and that's pretty much what you're good with. Now, we've got a pond outside. Let me just make a very short excursion. And, my better half was in it. It was freaking cold. I couldn't be bothered really to go in there. Sun was shining, but it's water from a well. So it's freaking cold. So I took a picture with my phone and my phone fell in the pond. Now, luckily, it didn't break entirely. I figured out, took a few pictures after it worked. Then it kind of went black. Then it came back on. Didn't really know what was going on. So I put it, in the rice bath as you should. So, rice being aqua, whatever, takes out all the water. And it worked. But however, leaving it in the rice bath for a day was pretty freaking awesome, involuntary digital detox. And it works. It's like the charm of it. You're not spending so much time per day looking at the phone. Has anybody posted anything new to Facebook? I don't care. My phone is in the rice bath. And after the first, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours where you're like, damn, where's my phone? And you're like, oh, it's in the rice bath. But in the third hour, it was like, okay, so let's carry on. And that was actually, an insanely liberating moment. This moment of being able to let go of the digital world. It was just totally insane. And I've never really experienced that. I was going hyper when my battery was down to 20%. I was like, damn, it's not going to last the entire day. What am I going to do? And you're on some outdated, outmustered airplane somewhere for 8 hours. You're like, damn, how am I going to survive this entire flight on 20% battery when there are no charging docks? It's like, ooh, interesting. So you need the essentials, and that's it, and everything else is a bonus. So are you poor? No, right? You're in a pretty good fix. You're in a pretty good fix, roof over your head, food on the table, yada, healthy. And that's the basics. And most importantly, if you don't, bother with all of the other crap that's going on around you, you've got the most precious asset at your disposal. And that's time, period. No questions asked. Money, you can get back. You fail your company or whatever, you go bankrupt. you can go back to where you were. That time you spent is gone forever, for good. You won't be able to get it back. Yeah, there are longevity programs that you can do. You can dream about getting yourself deep frozen when you died, or when you die, rather, and then wake up somewhere in a utopian future, maybe. You don't know. They'll get you back as I don't know, whatever, the machines that are coming, that are being produced by it. No, but seriously, you're not poor. And that's something you have to understand. You may be in a position where you could go places, but being in the comfortable, very comfortable position of supporting yourself and your dependents, your loved ones, you're way better off than, a significant part of the human population. So, and yeah, it's a struggle sometimes, but that's what life is about. Does money make it easier? I don't know. Not really. All the money I made, and, it was quite significant. A lot of it I spent on memories. Yes, those will be there forever, but did I need money for them? Not really. Spent them on good food, Did that elongate my life? No, not necessarily, because there was always loads of alcohol involved. So, question is, what are your priorities? And no, I'm assuming, and I'm quite sure about it, that you are not poor. So, in that sense, don't fall for all of these gurus trying to kick you in the butt. If you're comfortable in the position that you are, and you can make a living, right? You can struggle through life. It's not like the struggle ain't going to be there if you're rich, right? It's going to be the same shit, different problems. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So it's nothing really on my top priority aspiration list ever again, I hope. So in that sense, we're going to wrap this up here. I hope my incoherent ramblings made any sense at all. If they did, or if they didn't, please email your feedback to the very best podcast in the world at gmail.com. As always, if you could make sense at least of parts of this episode, please remember to share. Sharing is caring. Visit the very best podcast in the world.com. There's many different, social sharing icons. Use them. So have a nice rest of your Tuesday. If you've already had your Tuesday, have a good night. Leave your hands above the blanket, and we shall be back tomorrow. And then, we're going to talk about an episode I haven't really decided upon. Peace out. Take care, folks.